Now you're going to learn the next method to find the rank. So you already learned how to find the rank using determinant method. Now we are going to learn another method. That is, the method is called as echelon form. Using echelon form, you're going to find the rank of a matrix. Now to learn this echelon form, you should know something called as the elementary transformation. Either it can be row or column. Elementary transformation, you should know what is called as elementary transformation. The second thing is you should know what is called as equivalent matrices. Equivalent, what do you mean by equivalent matrices? Then third is the echelon form. What is echelon form? Then how to find the rank. These are the things you're going to learn today. So first let us see what is called as elementary transformation. What is elementary transformation of a matrix? First thing is you can interchange any two rows. You can interchange any two rows or any two columns. If you are doing with the rows, do only with the rows. Or if you are doing with the columns, do with the columns. So you can interchange any two rows. Second is you can, that is multiplication of each element of a row by a non-zero scalar. You can multiply any row or any column by a non-zero scalar. Third is addition to the elements of any row, the same scalar multiples of the corresponding element. That means Ri with the column or with the row, you can add this multiplication. I'll explain this with an example. So elementary row transformation means first thing is you can interchange any two rows. This is a sign we use. Interchange any two rows or any two columns. You can interchange columns also. You can interchange any two rows or any two columns. Second is you can multiply a column or a row by a constant k times Ri. The value or the rank will not change. You can do all these operations. Similarly, you can do the same thing with column also. Okay. Third is you take any row, with that row you can add this k times, you already multiplied, right? That k times you can add, always add Rj. Okay, Ri, any row you take, with that row you can multiply some other rows constant and then we can add. Similarly here Ci is equal to Ci, that is with that column you can add this scalar multiplier, is k times some other column. Multiply some other column by k and then add with this. So these three are called as elementary transformations. So these elementary transformations will, suppose a matrix A is given. A matrix A is given. You are just doing this elementary transformations and you get another matrix B. After you do this elementary transformations, you get a matrix B. This A and B are called as equivalent matrices. Okay. So when you do the elementary transformation, the original matrix A is converted to another matrix B. That matrix B is called as an equivalent matrix, or A and B are called as equivalent matrices. So this is about equivalent matrices. Now next is echelon form. Echelon form is also called as triangular form. So this is the elementary transformations. You can interchange any two rows, you can interchange any two columns, you can multiply a row or a column by a constant, and with any row or any column you can add the scalar multiples of some other row. And equivalent matrices, two matrices are said to be equivalent if one matrix is obtained from the another by applying the elementary transformation. A matrix is said to be in echelon form if every row of A has all its zero occur below every row which has a non-zero entry. That's the first condition. Suppose there is a matrix A. You have a non-zero element. Suppose you have some elements here. Okay, some elements. I'm writing it as n just to show it as a non-zero element. These are all non-zero elements. Now the first condition says this is the first row, this is the first non-zero element. Below the non-zero element, all the entries should be 0. All the elements below the first non-zero element should be 0. Now come to the second row. Second row, suppose if you have a non-zero element here. Here you can have anything. Okay, no problem. So here is a 0 element, anything, but this element is non-zero. Below that you should have zeros. Okay. Now come to the third row. If you have a non-zero element here, below that you should have 0, and here you can have anything. So this is called as the echelon form. So this is the first element, the first non-zero element of the first row. This is called as the pivot element. So below that you should have all zeros. The second row, this is called as the pivot element. Below that you should have all zeros. Similarly, the third row, this is the pivot element. Below that you should have zeros. So that's what it says. Every row of A which has all its entries 0 occurs below every row which has a non-zero entry. So below the non-zero entry you should have only 0. Below the first non-zero entry. Now the second condition is number of zeros before the first non-zero element in a row is less than the number of such zeros in the next row. That is, so this should be less than, the number of zeros of this row should be less than the number of zeros of the next row. So if you take the second row, if you have 1 0 here before the non-zero element, the next row you should have at least 2. Now look here, you have 3. So you cannot have 2 here. Suppose if it is n here, you cannot have 2. That is not echelon form. So these are the two conditions. If it is in echelon form, you should have all zeros here. See, after the first non-zero entry you have zeros, and the second condition is the number of zeros should be less than the number of zeros in the next row. So number of zeros here is 1. Here it is 2, here it is 3. It is in increasing order. 1 here, here 2, here 3. So this is called as the echelon form, or it is also called as the triangular form.